The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Yesterday, the country said its final goodbye to a former chief of state in a scion of one of the greatly hailed Filipino families, former President Benigno Noynoy Aquino III. JC Cosico with the rest of the story.
It was past 9 a.m. when his family brought former President Benigno Aquino III's urn to the Church of the Jesu in Ateneo yesterday. They were met by honor guards who brought the ashes inside the church for Pinoy's funeral mass. Right behind them was the family of one of Pinoy's sisters, Pinky Abeliada, while his niece Jacinta and nephews Bembi and Jiggy led the prayers and readings. The Mass was led by Lingayen Dagupan Archbishop Socrates Villegas, who in his homily said the former president's death was saddening and shocking.
Pinoy died as he lived. He served without fanfare. He abhorred power trappings and power tripping.
He also expressed regret on the fact that Pinoy wasn't given enough time to help the Filipino people.
Sayang. He still had so much to teach us about decency and integrity. He still had so much to teach us about good governance and professionalism.
But despite the sadness for Pinoy's passing, Archbishop Villegas says he has served well with integrity and honesty and is now free. And that the best eulogy we can give the late former president is to recover and preserve the dignity of this country.
But the best eulogy tribute we can pay to our dear President Noy is to bring back, recover, preserve, safeguard, and never again to compromise our dignity as a people and the decency of our leaders as servants, not bosses. The flags at half-mast are not only for the dead president, but for the dying, decent governance.
Meanwhile, Pinoy's eldest sibling, Balsi Aquino Cruz, was emotional as she read her eulogy for her brother.
Ngayon, nabutas na yung aming pagsasamahan. Nawala na yung gitna. Hindi na uli kami mambiging kompleto.
She reminisced about Pinoy's decision to finally run for president, saying they were opposed to it at first. Yet as Pinoy explained to them how he had thought about and prayed on it, they were the first ones to support and help their brother. She also said that Pinoy never wanted to impose on them, and thanked Pinoy for fulfilling his promise to take care of them and their mother after their father was detained.
Taos-puso po ang aming pasasalamat.
Lastly, Balsi thanked the public, the bosses of Pinoy. Apart from family, Pinoy's allies Vice President Leni Robredo, Senator Risa Ontiveros, and Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon also attended the funeral mass. Former Congresswoman Gina De Venecia, NTF-ALCAC spokesperson Lieutenant General Antonio Parlade, and former Social Welfare Secretary Dinky Suliman were also present. Singer spouses Regine Velasquez and Ogie Alcacid, close friends of the former president, sang at his funeral mass. Alcacid looked back on his last conversation with Pinoy and talked about how the late president loved music.
Siguro one thing that people don't know about him is he loves music a lot. It's a huge collection of CDs. Paborito niya si Regine.
Okay. Really?
Tsaka si Noel Cabangon.
Before the mass ended, people gave Pinoy a standing ovation not less than 3 minutes long. His urn was then taken to Manila Memorial Park for his interment. For News 5 and JC Cosico, we are One News.
Meanwhile, President Duterte defends his administration's drug war anew as he faces a possible probe by the International Criminal Court. Recall that ICC prosecutor Fatou Bensouda has requested the International Court to open an investigation into the extrajudicial killings carried out by the security forces in pursuit of Duterte's war on drugs and criminality. The president, for his part, noted how illegal drugs continue to destroy many lives and families and stressed that he is only doing his duty to protect the country. Duterte added that many policemen have also been killed during this campaign, supposedly after suspects fought back during police operations.
Pag itong breadwinner ng family, babagsak ito sa droga, the entire family becomes dysfunctional. And there are so many dysfunctional families similar to what I'm saying now. That is what I said. Destroy my country, I will kill you. I am protecting my country. It is my duty as president to protect and serve the people of the Republic of the Philippines.
Duterte also vowed that his campaign against crime and corruption will continue until the end of his term next year.
Crime, corruption, I only promise I will take care of criminality, drugs, corruption. Nandiyan naman lahat. Nakita naman. I have complied actually.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Cebu hotels are now being used for both quarantine and tourist bookings as it aims to fast-track the recovery of its local industry. Del De Vera with the details.
Janet Sacote can now finally return to her hometown of Agusan del Sur after being quarantined for 10 days in a hotel in Cebu City. Janet resigned from her job as a domestic helper in Lebanon, not only due to the worsening economic crisis in the Middle Eastern country, but because she has been longing to be with her sick father.
Ang tagal ko nang nag-abroad, tapos I think ayokong umuwi ng Pilipinas na isa sa kanila hindi ko maabutan.
Janet stayed in the hotel with other arriving overseas Filipinos and tourists coming from within and outside Cebu. This comes after Cebu hotels started adopting what they call the multi-use model to help the local industry recover faster from the crisis. Only those who tested negative upon arrival at the airport will be admitted, while passengers who tested positive will be quarantined in a local government facility. Hotels are also planning to increase the number of available rooms to 5,000 from 3,900. 19 hotels in Cebu are now approved to implement the multi-use model, while 9 more hotels have pending application. However, the hotel group is hoping that OWA would raise the payment for the accommodations of returning overseas Filipinos to up to 3,000 pesos per day. Currently, the agency is paying 2,000 to 2,500 pesos daily for hotels to accommodate returning OFs. The group claims that the amount is just half of their pre-pandemic room rates. That's despite their added costs, such as protective equipment and paying for food and lodging of in-house employees.
If you would like for the hotels to help our incoming OWA, or we call it the overseas workers, is that please increase the rates, because through this you will have more arrivals, you will have more rooms available for them. And of course, before they used to get a lot of complaints because of what can you feed of 1,400 pesos. Talagang makikita mo yung pagkain, talagang nirereklamo, sinusuka ng mga overseas workers. So because of that, they realized that it's time for them to really improve on the rate.
For its part, OWA is still studying the proposal of the hotel group given the threat of the more infectious Delta variant.
Arrival cap kasi is also, it's not just yung volume ng OFWs in hotels, but also yung health protocol, health situation. We have heard in the last few days yung mga DOH experts, the DOH talking about the Delta variant. So factor din yun going into determining yung quota, yung 2,000 arrival. But having said that, yung recent pronouncement ng IATF, malinaw naman doon, lalo na sa mga countries who were affected by the travel ban, UAE, Oman, India, etc., na hindi kailangan bilangin sa travel quota yung mass repatriation from those countries.
For those planning to go on a vacation to Cebu, look for the safety seal of your accommodation to ensure that it's safe even if it serves as a quarantine hotel. For News 5, Dale De Vera, we are One News.
There has been no recorded local case of the more contagious Delta variant in the Philippines. This was confirmed by UP-NIH Executive Director Eva Maria de la Paz during the latest Laging Handa briefing. De la Paz explained that all 17 Delta variant cases recorded in the country were incoming international travelers. She added that to avoid the local spread of the Delta variant or any other COVID variant, Filipinos must get vaccinated as soon as possible.
Ang mga tao pong may bakuna na sa COVID-19 na Delta variant po ang kanilang virus, mas maliit po ang pagkakataong ma-ospital kumpara po dun sa mga hindi bakunahan. Kahit ano pa mong pong bakuna, kahit anong variant, ang pagpapabakuna po ay magpo-protectionan pa rin po tayo kahit papaano.
Heads up, motorists, oil prices are once again expected to go up this week. This comes after crude prices at the global market rose for the fifth straight week to its highest since October 2018. Unioil Philippines has announced that its expected diesel and gasoline prices to increase by 10 centavos per liter. Recall that just last week, gasoline prices were increased by almost 80 centavos per liter, while both diesel and kerosene prices went up by 70 centavos per liter. Now, this means that for 2021, local gasoline prices have risen to almost 11 pesos per liter, about 9 pesos for diesel, and almost 8 pesos for kerosene. Now, those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.